Hey guys, what's going on? I've been doing some more work on carnivore trading. You might have seen my previous video, I think it was a couple of videos ago now, where I just basically joined a 2-week free trial, which I highly encourage you to do. It's in the description below, just check it out. I always want people to check things out for themselves. Just because, like, you know, you can take my sort of take on it, but like if you go in and check it out and find it fits your style of trading perfectly, then maybe it would be for you. So definitely check it out. It's called Carnivore Trading. They've called Carnivore. It's such a masculine thing, right? And they have a lion as the mascot. It's just, the whole thing is pretty funny. So if you're looking for entertainment, it is definitely a place to come. The emails are funny. The raps of the day are funny. This main guy, Dutch Masters is how he goes by. That's not his real name apparently, or it might not be his real name. And he's a funny guy. He's been on Fox and stuff, so he has some level of credibility. But I've known, and I'm not implying that he is one, but I've known people who have been less than honest that have been on Fox News and and some CNBC and Mad Money and all these things. So just because he's been on some of the stuff doesn't necessarily immediately give him credibility, in my opinion. Other people might differ in that opinion, but it's just what I think. So anyway, before I get started, a couple of honourable mentions. The first one being thetatraders.com. I'll leave a link in the description. If you want to actually make steady passive income, this is the service that I help run. I help get people in and trade myself. And Lance, the owner, is basically making consistent passive income every single month. I don't think he's really had a losing month for years. It's not a huge, like, he's not claiming 100% a month or 200% a year or 500% a year like some of these carnivore trader guys are. But his membership plans are very affordable. You'll not find anybody who's prepared to give you one-on-one coaching and stuff for the prices that he offers. There's different tiered plans. If you have any questions about this, just email me. My email is always in the description below. Or you can go to his website right here. You can look at his 2023 results, email contacts. I think it's lenskaminsky@gmail.com. This is what I recommend for people that are tired of being whiplashed by buying or selling stocks and options, and you want just to get into selling spreads and selling futures options and selling options on equities as well, all for like passive profits. So highly recommend this. Can't recommend it enough. This is where the money is at. And notice it's not called Carnivore Theta Traders or any crazy name. So anyway, that's one. Definitely check these guys out. Full disclosure, I do get compensated for my work with Theta Traders, and I'm happy to do so, happy to recommend them, and I hope the people that join, the vast majority of them seem to absolutely love it, so definitely check it out. Alright, so we want to resume video here. Let me stop this guy. So the other thing is, if you're looking to just do stocks, everybody wants to do options these days. Everybody wants to use small accounts, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5,000, and turn it into $20, $30, $40, $50,000 really quickly. Unfortunately, that's not reality for most people. It's not going to happen for you, probably. Most likely, if you're watching this, it's probably not going to happen for most people. What you want to do is these slow, steady gains, like thetatraders.com, or something like Wednesday Winners by the multimillionaire pro trader Brian Bottarelli, who works with Nate Bear, who I talk about all the time because I love his service as well. This is a fantastic service. It's only about $100. It can be less, it can be a bit more, depending on what level you go for. There's different bonuses and things. Basically, every Wednesday he comes out with a new due diligence on a stock that is likely to go up. And he has an 80% win rate. If you don't manage to get that 80% win rate, he gives you your money back. So it's really good. I love Brian. He's a good guy. Probably going to try and have him on the channel at some point if I can, if he'll come on. He's been trading for decades now, and he's a fantastic, honest trader. So definitely check out Wednesday Winners. I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to check that out. All that being said, let's get into the meat, no pun intended, of carnivore trading. So I started this review only on March 11th, so it's currently March 15th. And so this is the main guy, Dutch Masters. And so there's not that many positive reviews of these guys, so I just want to give you a brief overview of what I talked about before and then go into what I've been kind of looking at the moment. In particular, my new sort of updates are on his book. So they have a book out. There's 3 main traders associated with carnivore trading, and they've been doing a lot of YouTube advertising, so that's where I sort of came across them. And what obviously they're doing is, basically they're going, look, we made 500% this year, we made 120% this year, so far it's only March, like, we are the lions, and their logos are really like masculine and carnivore-ish, so So my first problem with these, and I brought this up before, is that they claim all of these like massive achievements, but they won't give the real names. And so what I did is I actually got access to their book, and I wanted to see if in their book they revealed their real names and whether they, would go into a bit more detail about their experience, who they are, what they do, what their strategies are. And I was slightly disappointed because they're still going by Dutch Masters, Trader Z, and J. That's what they're going by. And they're claiming 100 years of Wall Street experience. And your immediate thing is like, nonsense, there's no way that these guys can possibly be producing the results that they really are claiming to produce. So I started the review, and I'm going to add to this as I go. So I can't find anything about Dutch Masters. So I'm going to add to this a little bit because I did get the access to their book. So that's kind of cool. And one thing that I'd like to say positive, and I don't give very many negative reviews of services because I generally avoid the scammy ones, which may be a mistake, right? Maybe I should focus on basically giving reviews of the scammy ones, but it's not. I want to be positive about stuff, so I try and only bring to your attention like the ones that are worth it. Anyway, they put a lot of work into this, so the main positive aspect here, either them or somebody they pay, most likely them, puts a lot of effort into the service. Like, you'll not see these types of newsletters that are more in-depth daily like this than what we get with this. So one thing you get is the daily wrap, and I'll show you an example of that. And that really is often in huge depth, and the pre-market stuff is in huge depth, and there is value here. The service costs $189 a month, so you've got to want this huge value from these, and then also from the alerts. Now the buy and hold stocks are kind of a joke, and I'll show you why in a little bit. And they use technicals, so again I talked about how they use technical analysis, RSI, blah 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 blah. And so their book goes into a little bit more detail on that, so I thought I'd share that a little bit as well today. So this is the review. I'll leave a full link in the description below, and you can go and check it out. I'll add to it the video that I'm doing today, so if you want to go back and see any more details I put in, then definitely check that out. Anyway, if you go to Amazon.com and search Carnivore Trading, this is what comes up. You can get their books. They're called Hall of Fame Traders Journal for $10. So here's my first problem. They're calling it Hall of Fame traders, but then they're using false names. So immediately I'm like, really? You're Hall of Famers, but you just don't want the fame. I see. Okay. So you don't want, you're really in the Hall of Fame, but you're not telling you who this really is. So they could have legitimate reasons for this, but it throws up a lot of huge red flags for me. They try and cover it in the first chapter of their book. So this is Lions of Wall Street. This is the book that you can get on Amazon. And so here it is right here. It is funny. They're quite characteristic guys. Let me just check. So they basically, this is like the introduction. So the market you knew is dead. It's time to trade stocks again. The Carnivore way. Become a Hall of Fame trader. Behind the scenes, the psychology of trading. From the mind of Trader Z. Trading is an art. The proof is in the pudding. It just goes on and on with this, you'll see, wishy-washy nonsense. So let me show you. So they say, when we were approached to write a book, we hesitated. In many of our internal discussions, we thought it would probably be better off if we were just gaining 20% a year. That would be much more believable. And yet, somewhere along the line, the returns started snowballing. Dutch Trader and Zeekolen, here we go, it's happening again. Oh no, poor them. So they're in the first 90 days of 2022, our portfolio rose 100%. So that's approximately what they're claiming in 2024 as well. So 2 years later, they're saying they're getting the same performance. Now this might be true, but I'm extremely skeptical of this immediately. So they talk about, how bad the markets are, like how bad the IRAs are doing. People, not really kind of making any money like that. They all claim to be Wall Street veterans. So they say, trading stocks, trust us, we've seen it all. Dutch, J, and Trader Z, again, remember these are fake names. We are all Wall Street insiders at some point, not too long ago, actually. In fact, we've basically spent roughly 100 years in business. The lies being told today are lies that we told too. So this is part of a marketing strategy, in my opinion, where they try and say, and this is from companies like I won't name any companies, but companies that say things like, we're part of the bad people, now we're the good people, this is why you should trust us, we're going to give you that edge. So I start to get, like, my spidey senses start tingling here, and I'm like, this is not quite right. They're kind of playing that game of, like, the marketing game here straight away in their book. So we took great financial risk to leave the business, just to help us and tell the truth, of course. So you're starting to think, okay, they're honest, that makes sense, depending upon your age, blah, blah, blah. So you can see there's red flags all over the place here, that this feels like, it just feels a little off. And so I might be wrong, maybe these guys are legit, but let's see where they see, put default start, blah, blah, blah. Let's see where they have stuff. So they talk about, you say, I stay invested, but I'm diversified, my risk is tempered by asset, blah, blah, blah. They talk about portfolios and margins and 60-40 portfolios getting attacked, blah, blah. It's just, did Warren Buffett make it big by diversifying and being passive? No. Did he do it by dollar cost averaging? Yeah, right. You must be willing. It's a hard read. It just seems like, I don't know, they copied and pasted it and then put it into ChatGPT and rewrote everything, something like that. Then they start getting all masculine, like, we are Vikings, you have to have a warrior mentality, a Vikings mentality. We're fierce, cold-blooded killers that go into battle every day, take your money, fear not, we will conquer and we will be worth it. It's like, come on guys, like, really? It just seems ridiculous. So the more that I read the book, the more I realize like how ridiculous this is. And I'll show you some emails from their recent alerts and things as well. So just going back down here, they start to try and tell their story, right? So they basically try and say that they were part of all these firms, and the problem is that things like Robinhood are taking over and this type of thing. So basically, which is all true. I mean, this is all what's really happening in today's market. So, let's look and see. There's a typical part that I want to show you. So I'm just trying to find it here. So we at Carnivore see all of this is opportunity waiting. We possess the skills required to make the new paradigm work for all parties. We are the missing link. Again, this is why you should buy them. This book is a sales pitch, obviously. We are professional stock traders who have managed client and personal assets for decades. We can help. So why not use your real names? That's the question. Why not use your real names? Now, there is some part of this that I like, but I'm going to go through the bits that I don't like first, and then tell you a bit about what I do like. As you'll see, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie, but like the numbers are not actual numbers. They're just numbers on a spreadsheet. There's no broker statements or anything associated with these guys. There's no proof of any sort given, other than just like, we made 100%. Like, let's see. So just kind of browsing down here. So the Lions of Wall Street, the Carnivore Trading Group. Let's see. Alright. So this is when they start telling us the story. And then stories are what sell, right? So it's not really the performance of a service that sells. It's the story behind it. So you want the success story. You want the little guy that went from $100 to $1 million. Here's my strategy. All wrapped up, here you go, type thing. And for some people it's true and has worked, and it's rare, but it does happen. For these guys, I'm not so sure. We'll see, though. So Trader Dutch Masters here, he says, I want to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about the story. In 2021, I reached back in time to a tight group of great traders who have been my close friends and colleagues since my early days on Wall Street. My secret plan was to get the band together again. To my great surprise and pleasure, they've been thinking the same thing. It turns out we're all seeing disturbing happening on Wall Street. Frankly, we're sick of it. Lies are being told and people are being hurt. People like you. Again, this comes back to this is standard marketing practice. This is a strategy marketers get taught. We are the good guys. We are the bad guys, but now we know, and we will help you beat the bad guys now. It's silly. We formed Carnivore Trading to set the record straight. So again, they start going into these random things about lions and carnivores and choosing to eat and sleep and fight and freedom. It's just very annoying. So let's keep going down. So we're going to prove it. So they don't prove anything anywhere. Haven't seen any proof of anything. Blah, 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 money managers, optimize. Our trading desk, they don't have a trading desk. It's a place of intellectual debate in which ideas can be floated. Carnivore is an exciting place to be. I do find it exciting, I have to admit. Their emails are good, I get a laugh out of them. They're pretty funny, and so it's a good service in that way. One cent to trade is very real, it is out there and cannot be erased. Yes, but you don't put them all together in a way that we can coherently see whether you're making a profit or a loss, and we don't really know if you're actually taking the trades or not. There's no proof of that whatsoever. So then they start to talk about the credibility. Again, it's another marketing tactic. Basically, you have to establish your credibility. So Fox Business, other national TV shows. It's not that hard to get on these things. It really isn't. Then they start talking about testimonials. That's not that hard to get either. Carnivore shares its results. Okay, the market wrap is good, and I'll show you a market wrap because you will like it. It's really funny. Finally, and most importantly, active members get the two most important money-making tools we can provide. First is real-time look at what carnivore trading is. Okay, whatever. So, as I write this, we've now finished the first 9 months. Okay, so they're writing this back in 2022. Our founders. Now this is where it gets interesting. So, Carnivore Traders was founded by Dutch, not his real name. Trader Z, not his real name. J, possibly not his real name. I'm not sure. All professional Wall Streeters with a combined 100 plus years of trading experience. We have worked together at some of the biggest and best firms on Wall Street: JP Morgan's, Bear Stearns, Deutsche Bank, Merrill Lynch, BT Alex, Brown Bankers Trust. We're not just some guys who walked in off the street and become stockbrokers. We have degrees from UCLA, Georgia Tech, Georgetown 1. The problem is when you use fake names, there's absolutely zero way to confirm that any of this at all is true. And they go on to say, we have paid our dues. The only way to survive in our line of work is the experience up and downs in the market, make money, lose money, celebrate and suffer. Our lengthy time spent trading has the market left us with plenty of insights and scars. We're grizzled old veterans of Wall Street that was, and we're here to share knowledge. Okay. And so they do address this question, which you have to address. If you're trying to claim all this stuff and using fake names, you have to address it in your book or in your Discord or your community or dashboard or whatever. Why the weird nickname, boys? Are you trying to hide something? And they say, well, fair question. We know that concealing our identity harms us as far as its credibility goes, which means we probably lose a ton of potential new customers before they even sign up. That's okay. We have our reasons. First, the reasons are, we all agreed we do not wish to become even modestly famous. So if you didn't want to become modestly famous, why are you saying a Hall of Fame Traders Journal? Fair question. We know that concealing our identity harms us to credibility, which means we'd lose a ton of customers. Yep. You've lost me as a customer. Well, this is not the only reason you've lost me as a customer. I'll show you other reasons why. We guard our privacy very closely. We have families. Loads of people have families. I have families. Everybody knows my full name. Everybody knows Lance from Theta Trader's full name. That's not really a real reason to, in my opinion, for all of them to hide their identities. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I can kind of see their point. Possibly true, but I have my doubts. We have lives. We're not in this for fame, just for fortune. Right. Okay. Second, we're not the kind of people who require personal accolades. We're here to deliver a service. They do a good job of delivering something. Whether it's valuable to you or not, you're going to have to try the 2-week free trial to find out. Our gratification comes from the feedback that we get from the Carnivore family. They do seem to be completely immersed in this. However, there could be a possibility here, and I'm not saying this is what's happening, there could be a possibility that these guys are actually having other people do a lot of the writing for them that comes out. That's just my opinion. There's simply no need to distract from the mission, true freedom, carnivores, lions, this, you get the idea. So, here's something we didn't talk much about before. So, I like to see that they're addressing the fact that at least they use false names, but we also didn't talk about what their strategies are. So basically they talk about doing fundamental research first. So that's economics, cycles, geopolitical analysis, legislation, companies and fundamental work. That's kind of the first part. Then they put the overlay of pattern recognition. And all this sounds great, right? It all sounds really good. Backtesting, quant screens and rankings in key areas. This all sounds on paper really, really good. And then they start talking about the particulars, but they don't go into any of the actual details. They just call it the first one Vector Nostradamus, VN. And they talk about what that does, and they talk about the byte system, but they don't actually talk about anything about it. It's all proprietary. So to me, it was pretty useless. I was a little bit annoyed about it all. I went through the rest of their book, and you can too if you buy it, or if you sign up for the 2-week trial, you get access to this version of it. Basically, they talk about cutting losses quickly, adding to winners. This is all stuff that you get taught as investing 101. So none of this is new or exciting or interesting to me at all. The thing that sets these guys apart is not their particularly their strategies, because they don't really divulge them. What sets them apart is their name, the characters involved, the storyline, and the marketing. So I'm very skeptical over all of these guys in terms of actually being able to use them for anything other than a good laugh every now and again. So this goes on for pages, like 200 pages, and they talk about money and appendices and laws of vibration, so they get physics in there as well. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. You can see just on blurred for the whole time, all the way down to here. And so you'd think at some point, right? At some point in the appendices, if they were these amazing 500% a year traders, they would put their some sort of brokerage statements or something, but nowhere in here could I find anything where they talk about proof of any sort. It's all just nonsense. I mean, there's a glossary of trading terms that could be useful for people a little bit. But if this was me, say, me and Lance writing about Theta Traders results, we would have, for sure, track records in here. In fact, if you go to thetatraders.com, you can find the track records in there. And we'd have more like full-blown track records. We'd even have brokerage statement, tax returns, that type of stuff, showing that this stuff is not just all made up. Because you can talk all day about this stuff. Everybody knows these things, pivot points, L8 waves. It goes on and on and on. And so this book actually cemented in my head that this is perhaps not the most legitimate organization that I've come across. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope that you guys sign up for the 2-week trial and you find that this is a really useful service for you. Even our logo up here, look, it's just like this crazy line killing the bull on Wall Street. Make 100% every year trading stocks, Lions of Wall Street. Fake name, fake name, fake name. So, I don't know. Make of this what you want, guys. So I talked about their book. Check it out for sure. You can get it for free or you can buy it for $10. I would just do the 2-week trial and get it for free. Carnivore Trading. So I have been deleting most of their emails because they are just so horrendous. But some of them I've been putting into a folder called Carnivore Trading, and here are some of them. They do a 5-day or 6-day course or something, so they give you some information when you first sign up. You get some good rules of trading. The rules are always just like the same old stuff. Never risk more than 10% of your trading capital in a single trade. Always use stop loss orders. Never overtrade. Never let a profit run. Blah, 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 blah. Like, there's a lot of work that went into this, but it's all very superficial stuff. So again, I still don't see value in this. Let's look at just some random stuff. So they do some member calls. Admittedly, so far I haven't sat in on any of those. I haven't had time. I'm going to try so I can kind of report on that for you guys. Pre-market reports are good. I do like them. Here's an example of one. You can get some really good information in here about what's going on in the markets. So, for example, I was interested in gold the other day. I wanted to know what gold was. Crude oil. Okay, cool. So I don't have to log into my brokerage, all that stuff. I get to see all what VIX is doing, everything. So their pre-market reports and their end-of-day reports are fantastic. I'll give them that. Those are good, and they may be worth for some people $189 just for those, because they do all the work for you, which is really cool. So I do like that about their system, that's for sure. However, their trading updates are kind of boring, and when they do them in big chunks. So let me try and show you something that happened today, I think. Let's see. This one. Just added RS 2,500 shares, taking it to number 4 in position size. See what else I have to say. Short another 500 shares in this little spike. These are all swing trades. And so it's impossible to know what to allocate to what. So let me see if we can find one. There's one video ago, we tidied up the portfolio, and here's what we have now, and it was just like this mess. Let's see, last hour trading, was it this? Yeah, it was this one. Slowly our positions come around here, and we see model portfolio. Again, what's a model portfolio? Is that real money, or is it a model? I don't know. Maybe Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments below. When people say a model portfolio, do they mean it's a fake portfolio or a real one? Anyway, we sold off some stocks and redirected capital just a bit. We sold 100% OR, 60% Nugget, 80% PNR, 8% ball, bought more BVN, bought more rig, bought more R. This is useless. Like, is somebody trying to follow this as like a buy, like to buy and follow this? This stuff is not why you would buy carnivore trading, in my opinion. I would suggest that you would use their pre-market and post-market analysis stuff rather than their actual portfolios. So they're claiming they made 12,000 today, but they did all these different things with gazillion shares and everything. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you've tried carnivore trading. I want to believe that they're legitimate, but there's a lot of red flags. It feels like it's a very hyped up marketing thing to distinguish themselves from other potentially fake companies that are just sort of, doing whatever. I might be totally wrong, and this is based just purely on my opinion on what I think is going on here. It just doesn't seem right to me. It seems kind of crazy. These are not alerts in the way that you think of alerts. Like, what you want to do is something like Nate Bear's like Profit Surge Trader, where he gives out an alert on a Monday, just 1 or 2 alerts, and then you follow them, and you goes from there. You don't want this, where they just do like a million things, and then you're like, okay, cool, I have no capital, I have to add $1,000, and these guys are using $20 million. And so the whole thing is just a complete mess, in my opinion, from that point of view. Again, though, I want to reiterate, I do really love their pre-market and post-market analysis stuff. It's very helpful and probably worth $189 alone. So definitely check it out. Let me know what you think. You get 2 weeks, like I said, a free trial. I've cancelled my free trial, but I'm going to continue reviewing them, looking into it a bit more, because I want this to be true. I want these guys to be real traders, these old school, carnivore traders. I want them to be real. I want these guys, I want Dutch to be a good guy. They've readjusted this, which is nice, so they went from 119 down to, something doesn't quite make sense there, but anyway. Alright guys, that's all I have to say. Check the description for all the links that I've talked about, including links to thetatraders.com, including links to Nate Bear's Search Trader stuff, which is awesome, and Brian Bottarelli's longer term, medium longer term holds, and also my email address if you want to contact me about anything in particular. I'll happily address it. Alright guys, have a good night.